What would you do? What would life be like if every single day you found something good in your day? No matter how bad your day was, no matter how hard it was, how rough it was, how stressed you were feeling. What if you took every day and you made it something good? Like, no matter what. What would that feel like for you? See, I don't know how much time I'm going to be here on this planet, in this form, in this shape, in this body. I am 65 plus, which just blows me away because here in my mind, I'm 16, I'm 22, I'm 40. So, because I don't know how much time I have, I've been thinking lately about my mom, who's passed on to her new life, my dad, who passed on in 2006, my niece, who passed on at the age of 22, my two brothers, my oldest sister, my brother-in-law, actually two of them, and of course Sky. And I think about all of them and the way they lived their lives. And I think about my life now with the man that I'm married to. I wasn't going to get married for nothing. I stayed single for 10 years. I was single for just about 10 years. September would have been, September 3rd would have been 10 years. That's really not me, to be single, because there's a lot of fear in that. So when I met this man, which is the first man I met on Facebook dating, and we met at the lake, and I was sitting on the curb. I had walked down a couple blocks to the lake, and I was sitting on the curb waiting. He had about a 20-minute or so drive. And he's 5'11" 3/4", and I'm 5'2". So let's say 6 feet tall. And so when he pulled into the parking lot, I was still sitting on the curb, and he pulled in. He's looking like straight ahead. I'm off to the side. He didn't see me. When he parked, he's so tall. He's so tall, his head almost hits the top of the car, the roof of the car, right? And so he looked in his rearview mirror, but he wasn't seeing me. So I stood up, and he got out of the car, and he turned around, and he had this full beard, even though he didn't in his Facebook picture. And he was just as cute and as handsome as could be. What a difference a beard makes. Now, his picture that he was very clean shaven. And Sky had this gray beard that I just fell in love with from the get-go. And when I saw George turn around and he had that same beard, it was like I was looking at Sky all over again. Same shaped glasses, same style, same exact. Sky was 5'7", George is 5'11" 3/4. Sky was very thin boned, a very slight man. George is 180, very muscular, muscles in his arms and legs, extremely muscular man. From Tai Chi and Kung Fu, he's extremely muscular. So there was a big difference in them, but in the same, there was a lot of likeness. And I just looked at him and I just told myself, this is the man I'm going to marry. I'm going to marry him. I knew nothing about him. He hadn't even walked over to me, and I was already like, that's the man I'm going to marry. It was like I knew. And here we are 6 months later, and we're married. And we're about to get our own home. So I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at how my mom lived hers, how I lived mine up to now, how my sister and brothers live theirs, how my kids are living theirs. I'm looking at the people that I know that have a lot of stability and security, and I'm looking at the people that I know that are very unsure of everything. My son being one of them, very insecure in his housing, insecure in finances, very insecure and uncertain of his health. And so I just started thinking last night about life, about social media, about politics, our world, the weather, food prices, housing prices, rent prices, utilities. What's a luxury and what isn't? I haven't had a car for 7 months. It's been 7 months since I drove. I haven't driven George's car at all. And I'm not on his insurance. And it's really important to me that I have a car. And I intend to do just that over the next couple of months. Go to the Toyota dealership and get a car. Lease a vehicle. Something that I've done since my youngest son was 8 and he's now 26, right? So when I think of my life now, and I think of how much I'm putting into my life, because this isn't a case of I met someone and he's supporting me financially and he's doing it all, because that's not the case. That's not what's happening. The floater. That's not what's happening. It's not. This apartment I have paid for myself through giving things up and using money just for the apartment and the utilities, calling agencies, asking for help, being on my own. And so we have this little bit of time now that we're here as a couple. So everybody knows everything and everybody's all on board, and I've called all the people and, did everything I needed to do. And we will be moving on from here very shortly, in a couple weeks. And so I just keep thinking about my life every single day of my life now, and how I feel every minute. Am I enjoying my life? Am I content? Like, I have moments of happiness. If I go to the store and there's no line, like today when we were at Walmart, there was no line. I was happy for a moment because I could just go right up there and we were able to get our groceries. That made me happy for a moment. It didn't stay like that because it's an emotion that you're not going to stay like that, happy like that forever because you didn't have a line. But then there's this contentment that comes into your life. And there's this feeling of love and companionship. And this man that I'm married to, the amount of teamwork between him and I is amazing. The way we cook together now that we can, now that he can be here with me a while. Now that we're preparing the apartment for a change, the amount of talking we're doing, the communication, the holding hands, the taking walks, the just asking how the other person is doing and what do you need and are you okay? Every single morning, every morning, I lay my head on his chest and he wraps his arms around me. Because I'm so tiny, I'm 5'2" and I weigh about 100 pounds. And so he can just bear hug me with no problem. And I lay my head on his chest. And we tell each other, I choose to love you. And so I'll say to him, I choose to love you today, January the 26th, all day. I choose to love you. I choose to respect you. I choose to be faithful to you. I choose to be proud of you. I choose to tell you that I'm proud of you. I choose to be your best friend. I choose to talk with you and laugh with you and cry with you and take walks with you. I choose to be there when you need someone. I choose to tell you if I need someone. And so I'll just talk to him like that until I've told him everything I feel. And then he'll do the same for me. It's a thing we've just started doing. And it's really amazing. It builds a foundation to start the day. So I'm not a nurse to him. He's not a nurse to me. We're helping each other through times that we're going through. He's there for me with my stuff. I'm there for him with his stuff. And we're doing our best to be as healthy as we can for as long as we can because we're older and we have less time. Someone said to me, well, a couple people actually, you kind of got married fast. It wasn't a judgment or a question or anything like that. It was just a flat out statement. And I would think, compared to what? Fast compared to what? We've been together 6 months. When I married Kenny's dad, I knew him for 9 weeks when we got married. 9 weeks. 63 days to the day, and we were married. With George, 180, a little less than 180 days. So we don't have the time like someone in their 20s would, right? And so we have to take the time now that we have and make the most of it, whatever that looks like. Right now, there's a lot of, we're kind of in limbo. There's things to get rid of. There's things to take apart. There's things to, pack up. But we still have a few weeks until we know for sure that there's a move to be made. Because things can happen. Anything can happen to stop the process. So I'm doing what I feel safe to do here to get ready for a move, but not doing everything. So I'm asking you, what would it feel like for you if every single day you found something in your day, like you made your day good, no matter what's happening in your life, that you found something that made life worth it? I'll tell you a little side story and then I'm going to go. Sky was working at Lowe's, our local Lowe's here. And he wasn't crazy about the clientele or his coworkers at this particular store. People are different depending on where you are geographically. The store that he worked at the longest, for about 8 years, was more of in a low income area. The people who came in to buy things, they worked with their hands, hardworking. They did the work. They were the workers. And they treated Sky with respect. And they would stop and talk with them and give them a hug and a handshake. And he loved his customers and his coworkers, down-to-earth people. When he transferred to the store locally, the clientele was different. These were people who came in, bought the items to pay someone else to do the work. Nothing wrong with that. Sky just saw it as a different type of the way he was approached and how he was talked to. So he came home one day and he told me about this guy that was his co-worker. We'll say his name was Bob. And Bob would unlock the door each morning as the co-workers came in at 6 a.m. Right? Or 5:30, whatever time they came in. And this man always had a smile on his face. Always. Sky said it didn't matter what the weather was, what was going on. This man smiled and greeted him every morning. Hey, Sky, how you doing? What's going on, buddy? How are you? You know, patted him on the back, shook his hand, like happy, upbeat. Sky would say to me, Poet, there's something wrong with him. Nobody's like that every day. Nobody. Like, nobody. I said, how do you know? How do you know? I said, maybe you're just so used to the way people are, grumpy and miserable and grouchy and picky and, so on and so forth, critical, etc., that you meet someone who's kind and nice and happy and loves life and is living his best life, and you don't know how to take that. That's a shock to your system. I said, maybe he's just happy. Maybe he's happy to be alive. Maybe no matter what happens, he works through it and lets it roll off. Maybe try a little bit of that, Sky. So, as I go through my days now, especially after yesterday, and I had some comments, and I especially thought about the one where I was yelled at, stop changing your channel name. I thought, you know what? I have this one life to live in this form. My channel name isn't going to matter to anybody in a year from now or 10 years from now. I'm not going to matter. Like this face, it's not going to matter. I'm going to be totally forgotten in another generation or so, My kids that don't speak to me and my sisters that we don't speak, everybody's forgotten. Everybody's doing their thing. Everybody's doing their thing. So, I'm like, I'm just going to be happy. And I'm just going to be content. And I'm going to find something all through my day to be happy about. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I'm watching a movie till midnight. I don't care if I'm up at 3 a.m. drinking green tea. I don't care if I'm under 14 blankets. I'm going to be grateful. I'm grateful for my solo iced coffee. I'm grateful for that bearded man in the next room who loves me to pieces. I'm grateful for you guys, whether you're kind to me or you're not, but I'm grateful because even if you're not kind, you're still there. You still count, right? And what I can ask of you in 2025 with the way the world is find a way to find happiness, contentment, joy, deep breathing, meditation, manifestation. What is it you want and need? See it in your vision. Because being mean and ugly and unhappy and crying and carrying on about things you can't change, no matter what you do, makes life 20 times harder. And life is tough anyway. So, my encouragement to you is, would you rather live a happy life or an unhappy life? And I have every reason under the sun to live an unhappy life. I've got 7 kids that I gave birth to, and 2 of them talk to me and 5 of them don't. Doesn't matter why, it's just 5 of them don't. I have 5 reasons why I could be unhappy there. I have 3 sisters and we don't speak. I don't think they speak to each other. I have 3 more reasons to be unhappy, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm living in an overpriced apartment, but thank God I have an overpriced apartment. There's food in the fridge. I have you guys. I have my iced coffee. The heater kicks on. Like, did this guy pass away? Yeah. My dad, my mom, siblings. Yeah, bills come in unexpected. I gave up my car. Didn't like it. Still don't like it. But I can't stop the happiness, the contentment because of that. Am I getting where I need to go? Yes. Will things change in a little bit? Yes. Because they can. I don't want to go out of here with any regrets. At all. None. 0. I have enough of them from past lives. Past mistakes. Making poor choices with men, poor choices with my kids making poor choices with me, my siblings making poor choices, me making poor choices. That's done. You can't keep doing that every single day and have any kind of happiness in your life. You got to find a thing, a person, a show, a place, a flower, a something, I don't care what it is, to make you happy. Find it. It's out there. You just got to open your eyes to it. I have as much going on in my life as you do. So it's not as though I've got 1,000 things going on and you have nothing going on. You have 1,000 things going on too. We all do. So one at a time, something comes up, you make that call, you write that email, you do whatever you need to do, and you resolve it however you need to do it. And then you move on to what's next. And if you can't do it yourself, ask for help, right? I have to do something with a tax paper that I'm clueless on, but George is going to help me. I asked him, do you think you can help me with this? He said, yeah, of course. Thank you. I say thank you a lot to everyone. I also say to everyone, I appreciate you. Not I appreciate it or I appreciate that, but I appreciate you. When I'm on the phone, I'm talking to someone, customer service, whatever, I say thank you, I appreciate you. Not I appreciate it or that. I appreciate you. Think on it. I'm going to go. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you.